I'll be in the garage. Ho, 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 ho. Hey you guys, it's Jeff here from I'll Be in the Garage. I got something really cool to show you today. I drove 3 hours yesterday to pick this up. What is it? It is a genuine Klaxon 8C car horn. And what's cool about this one is it's not one of the newer models that goes beep beep. It's actually the style that's supposed to make that sound. So what I'm gonna be doing today is taking this apart, cleaning it up, and hopefully getting it working, so stay tuned. Now, I did make another video where I got the original horn working on the car. This is what it sounds like. I'm not really crazy about that. I don't want the beep beep noise, I want the aooga sound. So that's why I bought this new horn. Well, it's not very new when you look at it there. It's really crummy and rusty, and it's just not working right now. So the first thing we got to do a disassembly. I'm going to take apart the main body here and split it into 2 halves. Got the back unscrewed here. Let's open her up and see what we got. Ooh, this is like archaeology. All right, we got her open and we're going to examine how this thing works. Now you look inside here, you see that little steel wheel there? It's connected to an electric motor that spins it, and you see how it's got those little raised bumps on it? When it spins, those little bumps actually contact the back of the diaphragm and vibrate it, and that's what gives you the aooga sound. And the reason it makes that sound is it has to spin up to speed, and then it slows down when the motor dies. So that gives you that very distinctive sound. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going to take this kind of housing off the back to expose the motor that's inside there. It's just held on there with 1 screw, so it's actually very easy to get open. There we go, pops right off. And let's take a careful look inside here. Aha! There's the motor. Now there's nothing super complicated about that. That's just an old-fashioned brush motor. Okay, so there's that diaphragm I was talking about. That's the part that actually vibrates to make the sound. Ooh, and one side is really rusty and bad. And there's a paper gasket there that was on both sides of the diaphragm. That's really gone too. It's just totally rotten. I'll have to make a new one of those. And inside here, it's just full of rust and bird droppings or whatever the hell is in there. It's really bad. Now, the diaphragm's my biggest concern. That side's not too bad, but the other one's going to have to be really cleaned up. It's so bad. All right, so I'm going to get right to work here. I'm going to use my pneumatic tool with a wire brush on it, and I'm going to get all the dirt and junk off the outside of the housing. I don't mind doing stuff like this. I actually kind of like it. It's fun. I'm going to get right down to the bare metal here. I want to make her look nice too. And I'm going to use this degreaser stuff just to get the remaining oil and stuff off of the metal surfaces there. Got to clean it right up so the paint will stick really well. And now as far as the diaphragm goes, I'm not going to use a wire wheel on it or anything like that. I'm just going to soak it with this degreaser, and I'm going to use a Scotch-Brite pad just to polish it up, get as much stuff off there as I can. I don't want to damage it. It's probably the most delicate part. There, look, it came out pretty good. That's pretty good actually for the age. There's nothing wrong with it. Now you look at the inside here. I think this is why the horn wasn't functioning before. You see this wire here? It's come loose. So I'm just going to have to reconnect that one. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to apply 6 volts directly to the motor through these wires. Oh, get her spinning there. Now it is spinning, but it's really weak. I think if I clean up the motor inside, I can do a lot better than that. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of sandpaper here, just clean up the surfaces inside the motor. One thing you don't want to do is use emery cloth in here because it can short it out. And you see that? That is one of the brush holders. That's the part that actually contacts in there, makes the electrical connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out that cotter pin there, and I'm going to take the brushes out. There should be a little spring in there that holds them down. There's the spring, okay. And then beneath that you got your spring and then your brush. That's just a little block of metal that makes electrical connection. And I'm going to take a Q-tip with some solvent on it, and I'm going to clean out those little channels where the brushes sat. It's really gunky. That's probably what's causing them to not make good contact. So I'm going to clean those all up and put a very, very light coat of oil inside there. I'm also going to take some sandpaper and clean up the brush endings, just to make sure there's no carbon or anything on there and they get a good connection. And let's give it another test here with the motor. We'll see if it works. Whoa! Whoa, look at that. Now we got some power in the motor. That's actually very good. All right, now the fun part. We actually get to make it look pretty. I'm just gonna hit it with some black primer, and then I'm gonna give her a coat of semi-gloss black. I love doing that. I love making parts look brand new again. All right, we got a busted wire inside, so I just gotta do a little bit of soldering to make a good electrical connection there. There we go, done. Now, I told you before this had paper gaskets inside it, so I've got to make my own gaskets. I'm just going to trace out this pattern on some gasket material paper here, cut it out into a kind of a donut shape, and then I'm going to use a hole punch to make the little holes for the bolts. There you go. Now we got a gasket and the diaphragm, and then there's another gasket on top of that, so it's kind of like a sandwich. Good. That's awesome. Done. One thing here, I'm spinning this and I'm not hearing the diaphragm clicking. So this is not far enough out. But it's actually not hard to fix that. All you gotta do is use this adjustment screw on the back. It moves that little steel wheel closer to the diaphragm so it's actually contacting it. Hear that? Now it's clicking. Well, there she is, all reassembled. Nice paint job. I cleaned up the logo. I think it looks great. All right, so here is the horn here. I think it looks great. I have absolutely no idea if it works. Like I said before, the motor's actually spinning. So what do you say we apply power to it and see what happens? I got my, my car battery hooked up over there to these wires. Whoop, that's 6 volts. Okay, let's flip her around here. Bear in mind, I have no idea if this is gonna work. It might be out of adjustment. All right, here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. That's hilarious. It works. That is awesome. Oh man, I am so happy with that and it looks great. So this is gonna go on the old car, the gray and Paige. I got lots more work to do on it. If you can, please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I'll keep you updated on what I'm doing. But this was a great one-day build. I'm really happy with this. So long for now. I'll be in the garage.